LGBTIQ plus person.
The international response to yesterday's enactment of the Anti-Homosexuality Act has been swift. The act is one of the world's strictest anti-homosexuality laws. In a statement from the White House, U.S. President Joe Biden has asked the National Security Council to re-evaluate the annual $1 billion aid to Uganda. Others, like the Global Fund, UNAIDS, and PEPFAR, say Uganda's progress on its HIV response is in grave jeopardy.
As the EU, we have made no secret of our opposition to this law. We believe it is contrary to Uganda's regional and international human rights commitments.
However, away from the health and economic implications, Dr. Sarah Birete, the Executive Director of Center for Constitutional Governance, says the Anti-Homosexuality Act could have far-reaching political implications.
We have already seen allegations in every election. There are allegations that opposition leaders are championing the homosexuality agenda in Uganda. So now this is an opportunity, and that could be the reason why the president signed.
She adds that in enacting the law, regime longevity took precedence over the development funds the country is going to lose.
We saw a charge of rape on a presidential candidate, but now we have armed the state with an easy tool to use to close civil society organizations, to arrest human rights defenders.
Sarah Chihika Kasande, a human rights lawyer, goes further, adding that the timing of the enactment of the law is diversionary, coming at a time when Ugandans are calling for accountability over the role of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, or UPDF, in Somalia.
I mean, it is quite interesting that the president assented to this bill on the day when Ugandans were still trying to make sense of how Al-Shabaab attacked our camp in Somalia. Ugandans are still asking how many UPDF soldiers have died. And before we even get answers to that, we now have the president assenting to 6 bills, including the anti-homosexuality bill.
She adds that in signing the act, President Museveni has permitted state-sanctioned persecution and discrimination, which is a setback for human rights in the country.
Whether it's enforced disappearance, whether it is torture, whether it is unlawful killing, all those are human rights violations. But in this case, we are looking at the systematic, state-sanctioned erasure of a section of society.
While gross abuse of human rights is commonplace in this country, one wonders why the international reaction to President Museveni's decision was swift this time and slow on other human rights abuses.
Of all the development challenges or governance challenges this country faces, is that the most that is denying us the opportunity to reach the middle income status?
In the face of threats of financial sanction against the country, the human rights defenders agree that Uganda can only afford to span its development partners and walk the talk of being financially self-sustaining if wasteful expenditure by the government is curbed. Gillian Nantume, NTV Tonight.